Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring new and glad tidings. How are you doing? So, how are you doing? Getting just 44 says, don't you sleep, weary. Your papa no fit sleep. You know why I see your papa no fit sleep? Tó tó wú kalẹ̀ bí oyún músù. Ọmọ tó ń pè lólóńgìní. Ó dàbí oyún olóńgìní. Wèrè. Na me they call wèrè. Me or your papa? As you see in papa so, the only work wey good for na security na because of how im work. Na so im mama too work. Im mama work so tey she dey cast out demon. If she approach person wey get demon, the demon go say, mama, no vex. Abeg, no vex. Our master, no vex. It's okay. Hey! Really? Getting just 44. Oh yeah, rapture. Sharp. Make we start with people wey dey here, we get sense. I don't rapture am than no pity kini. Pity yala ya father. We're here to talk about sensible issues. We're here to talk about sensible issues. Let us discuss Lyon the kidnapper, where they go church. Lyon the kidnapper, where they go church. Oh boy, now wow. First of all, somebody don't start by sending me stars. God bless you, more gold. Imagine person where they send me star name now, more gold. I'm a more star too. More gold star, and the color of the star now gold. More gold star. Ashiri, thank you. Let's talk about this kidnapper where they go church. You see, I'm not going to spend more than 15 minutes on this because I want us to go quickly to the next topic. And the next topic is house girl ask Baba out. House girl where they walk for Baba. This particular topic, someone say I don't hear waiting. I don't hear waiting. Hey. I don't see one of my guys. Daniel, I no go talk past like that. Daniel, big shout out to you. Big shout out. I know who they behind there, but I know say Daniel. Lion of the tribe of Judas. Chai. Lion of the tribe of Judas. There is the lion of the tribe of Judah and lion of the tribe of Judas. Hey! How? Dilly say all sorts of people go to church. By the way, Dilly was my classmate in secondary school, in primary school, and in secondary school. I suppose bring her one of these days. I know say people don't believe say I go school. Just believe say I just dey waka up and down. Say I no get degree. One day I go run for office. Dilly is now the first person where I call. Say come tell them. Say me and you go school together. At least we go primary and secondary school. And you know the year where we both finished in 1993. Now, my problem is all sorts of people go to church, yeah. But you see, there's a certain way Nigerians make a hypocrisy out of religion, especially Christianity. Lion will go that church. No, see, as they pray. When you ask them what thing they do, you go say they hustle. There are some kind of things that you will not see in mosque. And let me tell you why. Because mosque does not glorify success. At least worldly success. You see, there are many types of clinics in this life. There's medical clinic where head they ache you, leg they pain you, you go there. There are spiritual clinics like churches and mosques. There are financial clinics where you go to like business schools, mentorship programs where they teach you how to invest, how to manage your funds, blah, 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 blah. My problem with Nigerian church is everything. Nigerian church is hospital. Nigerian church is law court. Nigerian church is a healing program. Nigerian church is psychiatrist. Nigerian church is financial advisor, and they are qualified to do none. And there is no success. How do I put it? That comes out of them. No way to measure the success. So take for Nigeria, doctor go open church to heal people. But Nigeria comedy na skit. As a doctor, go learn medicine for 7 years. Come go open church. They heal people. I don't want to enter the guy, because if I enter the guy, it can't be like say they personal. But one name. Nigerian person they carry in Peking go church, whether they kidnap the Peking from church. Where to be the name of that church for Akure Abina Ekiti? Another big pastor for East, they begin mentioning names, say Peking lost for in church. As in, Dillis, oh, my sister, where are you? I need us to discuss this thing. Now, so Peking they lost for abroad church. Nigerian church get problem, make we deal with them. I'm not going to blame the church entirely on the Lion of the tribe of Judas. But there is a certain type of mentality the church creates that we need a purge from. Thank you so much. Somebody else just bought me some stars. Thank you so much. Precious Ovuakpo Taire. Thank you for your love and your loving kindness. Chotito Bire. They say Peking miss there. Then they go back, they go forth. So these are my thoughts. If you look at this guy, someone say, how do I buy stars? You have to come to Facebook. You look at this guy. The guy looks successful. Then there was a trade-off between Rude Boy of P Square and some other guy, and both of them had points. Rude Boy was like, girls, forgotten exactly what he said, like girls don't know, they'll follow the guy and be hailing the guy. The other guy responded that, are these not the same people that buy 5 million naira table and you people shows? I will not lie. The people that buy me stars on my page, I don't know the one that just finished doing ritual with his mother or his sister. I don't know the one that just finished robbing bank. You can't really tell. All of them, they buy stars. I go, they heal them. Hey, this person buys star. Hey, this is, you know the work where they do. Someone said, Daddy Freeze, will you drink star beer? I don't get money to buy star. No worry, bring the star beer. Someone say, anybody will buy star for this Buhari period, not kidnapper. Please, now people they buy my star, they abroad, they work hard. Many of them are nurses and doctors and all sorts of technicians and IT people. Please help me pity them and leave them. So you see, at the end of the day, Nigeria, there's really no cure. Samaria was kidnapped once. Let me even bring Samaria on. I don't want to really dwell on this particular story. But Samaria was kidnapped once. And Samaria no be kind person where they bring come your show quick.
Daddy, please.
Sama?
Daddy, please. So let me cover this my hair.
At least you wear cloth today, I be you know where.
I tried well.
Please tell me your experience about your kidnap. Just be careful to use clean words because you the sabi go off once you begin the vex now. You go just change them for all of us.
Daddy, please. Honestly, that's an experience I hate to share, but I will. I will just pick few points on it. It was a very crazy one. That was in October 19th. Sorry, 17th, 2015. To think that it happened on a Saturday morning. To think that it happened on a checkpoint about 11 a.m. I was on my way to a wedding, my cousin's wedding. So I can imagine, I just... Well, I was to cut it short. I know most people will be listening. I'm just going to cut it short. I was just driving. So suddenly people were running, and I thought what could be the problem because that was a roundabout. And usually people hang around there, both people loading boxes, sellers, people reading newspaper. So when I just heard that sound gunshot from behind, I thought maybe police were exchanging fire with armed robbers. So I tried to clear up the way so they would drive past. But then they didn't drive past, they shot at my vehicle. And so I had to stop. So they got out, they tried my doors were both locked. They tried dogs, they were both locked. So I just had to touch the dashboard because it was a Range Rover. Then they drew me out. I had the girl, one of the distant relatives that was staying with me that time. She was beside me. So I overheard the other one say, no, leave that one no photo. But let me just cut it short. The summary is this. Eventually, there was someone next to the car, the deceased. It looked like they had gone to his house, to his office where he sells car to pick him up. And then when they saw that Range Rover drive past, they went after me. I think that was what happened somehow. I'm not too sure. But they started interrogating us right from the car. They didn't go with the vehicle, and then they handed us over to make it short. Eventually, we were kept somewhere. We were handed over to the next group. The next group were the ones that took us in the bush, where I spent 6 days under rain and sun. Well, that's where we were. That night, initially, I couldn't imagine what I didn't know. I never thought about anything like kidnapping that period. So
around where did it happen? Around where did it happen? People are asking. Samaria.
Huh?
Where did this happen?
Owerri. I'm roundabout. So why would somebody want to kidnap me? What for? So that's why. So when we got to that uncompleted building that evening. That same morning at first, I was looking for where to sit. And the other one said, see this one, you see they do at you, see the family goes down. Don't worry. By the time we start with you and do to you what we do to others, But that's by the way. So they kept us there late that night. They came, they took us and handed us over to the ones in the bush. Like I said, that's where we spent days. So that night, especially, because when we were going into that bush, that was a very thick forest. We walked over 20-something minutes to get to that spot. And when we got there, there was no road. There was no road. They were the ones that created the path themselves. I don't know how they make it, all those track roads, and they were giving signs. So when we got there, they gave signals, and then the only thing in my mind is, I don't know what it is that is happening here, but I rather, than to give up. Let it be like I tried trying to escape. But when I got there, I realized there were a lot of them. And how did I know there were a lot of them? There were a lot of them because from their cigarettes, I could feel the lights, both the ones that were hanging on the trees. I could see the light of the weed they were taking, all over the place. That's how I knew there were so many of them. And I wasn't the only one there. The man that they had in the car before they picked me and I weren't the only people there. There were 3 others that came from Edo State or whatever, some governments, officials, blah, 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 were there before I joined, before we came that Saturday. They were already there on a Friday. So they chained them together. They chained the man that they had brought me with together. alongside, but they didn't chain me and the other lady. That's how we were there. The mosquitoes in that bush, the big mosquitoes, it was something else. I mean, you can imagine sleeping on the floor, on the ground. When it's raining, it would rain. As God would have it, it didn't even rain so much that period. The only time it tried to rain, they had to get umbrella. There was a day there was no full water to drink. You know, we didn't have any water to drink. So that was where we stayed. But like you talking about this guy that just got apprehended, you know. I remember the night we were released. I was released. There were a lot of them. Over 11 of them that night. And when I mean 11 of them, I could smell OUD, Danford, on one of them. Because we were on the road. I mean, you could see that they weren't just, I know the ones in the bush, those ones were the ones that semi-illiterates. You know, from the way they were talking, the stories they shared, the experiences, the oppressions they've been to, a lot of stories that, you know, they told me. In fact, to be honest with you, I don't know how it is, but they started liking me and they were telling me stories and all the rest of them. So those ones in particular, they are the ones that, I can remember the other one was even saying, oh, he can't wait to buy a car for his girlfriend once he comes out. He needs to change his girlfriend's cars. And I was telling myself, really, now be my money, then they used to go buy this car for this person. You know, and I'm like, you see, we girls don't even know what's going on behind. So like I said, the morning around 2 a.m. when I was released, there were a lot of them that came that night for that release. And the other one was even saying how his wife gave birth or whatever in Dubai.
In Dubai.
That he's so happy today that his wife just gave birth. And like I said, there was one, their communication, you could see them speaking good English. You could see the way they were smelling, that they smelled nice. So they were not regular people. That still brings us to who we meet. To be honest, when I came out from that place, I hated people. I hated the heart of a man, because you can imagine somebody being taken, such kind of, nobody messed with me. Their boss will come and ask. Hope none of them is messing. Nobody messed with me, like I said. But the kind of things they did, you know, taking a life before me is the most annoying part of it. I mean, a lot was done. So I can't just...
So you actually saw someone lose his life. Let's be careful with words because of...
These are kind of things I hate to talk.
I understand.
And that wasn't even the first one. There was another attempt on my life again in 2019.
Where?
Back in Nigeria.
Where in Nigeria?
Those ones were apprehended. The same way.
That's so weird. That's so easy hot.
Picture of my vehicle on their phone. They already sold my vehicle. You know, so for that particular one that I was a victim, the kind of treatments, I felt like, you know what these little kids were doing? These kids saw big men in the morning, they like, boom. Hell, I know they greet here. And those men will raise their head and say good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, people. They were treating men like babies. There's a lot to talk about, but this is a live show. I wouldn't want to say so much. But I know that man that sells vehicle in Amakohia, he used to sorry. He was. I think he had the vehicle stand and bicycle somewhere around Amakohia or Paco or whatever. Because I remember he was telling them then that he had just lost his brother in a vehicle accident and he was preparing for his brother's funeral. That was the last time, if I'm not mistaken, that man was seen. Because I was there with him. He was the first person that was picked. Because I remember when they were interviewing him, when they were asking him, the person that was supposed to buy it, why didn't the person purchase it? And he told them the person's money wasn't complete. And they requested to know if we had any cash on us. And then he had $100. They took from him. And then they started interviewing my background and the rest of them and started asking me some questions. So he lost it somehow mentally while we were there. It's not everybody that can go through stress. A lot happened while we were there. But then, you know, police don't really even get to know where these people stay because it was a thick forest, like I said. And they were very smart. What I couldn't understand is why somebody would take me on a broad daylight without mask. They hadn't any masks on. And they were shooting on air. And that was meant to be a checkpoint where I know normally police stay on. But there wasn't any police on that single Saturday morning.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what it is that is with our security back home. people go around and you think everyone is normal, but what we do behind is so difficult to trust. It's so difficult to see people and think everyone is like you. The really heart of man is not as we think.
Wow.
I can't get out here, but there's a lot.
Wow.
So
what happened to this gentleman that you are talking about? What happened to him? What happened to this particular gentleman that you are talking about?
He was killed.
Oh wow. Okay. In front of you, was it by mistake or it was an intentional act?
They weren't planning to kill him.
Okay.
They weren't gonna kill him.
Okay.
He lost it. He became mentally unstable. As a medical student then, I knew he was acting because of his health conditions. But at first, they thought he was faking it, but he wasn't faking it. I also tried to tell them he wasn't faking it because he lost it. I can remember that night when he started lamenting. He was screaming, "He's not gonna die here. Police must find out. BBC will come here. CNN will come here." So he was just, saying a lot of. In fact, he fought one of those boys, and he would have gotten rid of him if I hadn't kind of pleaded. Because he started like acting. When somebody's mentally
unstable. Yeah.
So they felt he was going to be a threat to them should they let him out, especially the night we were to be released. I told you it was a long walk and he couldn't move. I think that was the only time in my life I said a prayer where I felt God move at my side. Because I remember I looked up to God that night and I said, "God, this is time to go. If there's anything you can do for me, just help this man. Let's leave this place. Yeah. At least let's move out of this place." But he couldn't move. So they
neutralized him.
So
they neutralized him.
They shut God out.
Wow.
So they had the other lady and I keep marching. We kept moving forward. Why?
Sorry, my sister.
I wore his shirt.
You wore the man's shirt?
They had them naked. They had them naked, right? They had all those men because the ideal thing is to torment you, to make life miserable for you. That way you can pay whatever you're asked to pay, to torture you. You can imagine those big mosquitoes. One of the times that I opened my eye, you need to see how big that mosquito was. And they had all those men, they chained them on the tree. And they had those mosquitoes infesting in them. And
wow.
That was the time I knew that is it rug or whatever, you put it on your skin, it can scare mosquitoes for a while because one of them had brushed that put on my skin. I was dressed for a wedding, so I was in a short gown. It was his shirt he gave me that I used to cover my leg. And funny enough, they wouldn't even let you beat or try to kill any mosquito or send it away. No. They will allow those things to.
It's okay. It's okay, sis. It's okay, sis. I know you've shared this story with me one-on-one before some time ago.
It was a terrible experience.
But I'm glad you're sharing this because a lot of people just look what is it that Lyon did? What is it that they made him sit on the floor? You know, people need to know the extent to which these people go to with regards to their victims. How much did you pay to get out of the bush that period?
Daddy, please, there's certain things you don't talk online. They were calling money as if I had money to pay them. Oh Lord, I was only a student. Goodness, Daddy, please, no. I'm not really. God really worked for me. God did. God worked. They took my jewelries, my wristwatch, then my ex bought me. That was a Rolex, my gold. They took those things, my phones, and a lot happened. But God really showed Himself in my life then, because me coming out from that place, it was a miracle. it was a miracle. Even the other guys, I know they paid. I think they paid 3.5 or so. The men or something like that. I don't know, but I know they paid. And the police will tell you don't pay. That's what police will tell you, don't pay.
I agree with the Nigerian police in many things, but not this one. You should not pay.
That's what they say. They will tell you don't pay. They will tell you, something like that. Never pay. Don't even the moment you are reached out to, you should contact them. Really? So they will mess things up? Hell no. Though it looks like they claim they worked then too, because I remember. Not a freeze. The death of that man is something I've held onto myself for years. Because I don't know if his family knows anything about him. I'm sure the family must be looking for him because they wouldn't know what happened to him. But I know I know. We were together. It's.
I'm so sorry, my sister. I'm so sorry for what you've been through. And it's one of the reasons why I don't leave my house in Lagos. I don't leave Lagos. I live in Lagos. If I'm leaving Lagos, I'm coming to London or I'm going to Romania. I don't go to Ibadan. I don't go. Nothing in this world makes me travel. Nothing.
But if it's when I came out from there, if you see how I sell human beings, if you see how I remember I had gone to the bank one time and somebody asked me for my writing material. I was like, you see how pissed I was? I felt like the heart of man is terrible. Some people are mean.
Someone is asking, what was the name of the man? Do you remember his first name? Maybe you can even help solve an age-old mystery.
I know where that man stayed. I don't know what his name is, but before that Aquacuma roundabout, there's an upstairs on the left. Where he used to sell, I think, some bicycles, some kind of pre-owned equipment or something of that nature, somewhere around that place. And it didn't happen recently. This happened in 2015, in October. On a Saturday morning.
So after that, you just traveled out of the country. You just left Nigeria and it's madness.
One thing with me is, I'm out. I've always been in and out. But the last one that happened is the one I'm like, okay, it's time to just, because those ones, like I said, we apprehended and their case, we are still going to court. So I was like, police wanted me to stay behind and, kind of testify and all those things. But I didn't want to because I don't know these guys. They are the ones who know me. Like the previous ones too. I don't know them. They see me on the way, they recognize me. Like after the 2015 incident, I couldn't even stand staying there for any reason because I remember that I had stopped by the junction one time to get some oranges and this guy was looking at me. I became scared because, like I said, the night I was released, there were a lot of them. They know me. I don't know them. They're like normal people, like you said, normal people, like the one that has just been caught. That they drive past you, they talk to you. I don't know them. So I couldn't even mention, even when the police were trying to interrogate me and all that, my dad said no. I didn't want to mention anything to anybody. Let them just deal with themselves. I don't know them. I'm still afraid of everyone else out there.
Now, in your opinion, Lyon that they caught, what do you think they should do to him?
This particular guy?
Yeah.
He's just one out of hundreds. He's just one out of a lot of them out there. There are a lot of them out there. The government should do whatever they want to do. I won't be the one to tell them what to do. Hell no.
But if you were in a position, Okay, you are afraid. I understand.
I still come to Nigeria.
I understand.
They should do whatever they want to. They should face the law. However, whatever. I won't be the one to tell the government what to do, but the government they need to step up to their game. Because when you keep this guy, before you know it, they'll still escape from the prison. Because I remember the ones that had me, one of them he narrated his story how he served 3 years term in Abuja in the past. So you can imagine that even being in jail doesn't make them better. Because he was in the prison for 3 years, he came out and he still went back to crime. What difference does it make? And they were very selfish. Very, very selfish. They have their rituals and everything else they do. So you can imagine, like, this one, you put him in prison, tomorrow you're not careful, there's a prison break and they escape. It gets worse. I watched the video, I overheard someone saying, you, I know you are the organized people. I'm like, this one saying this. It's Nigeria you're dealing with, though. Yeah, he's screaming you before him. Not me. Not me. I still love my life because his colleagues are out there. To think that while I was even there with them, they were calling up containers. Ishionyocha, that's Whitehead has a landage. They were calling us warehouse. They're talking about other company. I know most of them are still watching me here. They are hearing what I'm saying. But I mean, you all know that's what you're saying. The slang you use is like this thing is like it's like a business. And they know themselves. They have different whatever branches. So how many do you intend to get? Should you get one person, don't jubilate and think, oh, that's the end of the problem, because you don't want to go out there. His friends are still there. It's a business. It's like a gang. It's like a cartel. So the difference is that question is left between them and government. Let them deal with themselves. Not me. I won't.
Samaria, you've been through a lot, my sister. I feel so glad that you're out and all. Now, real quick, you're a very beautiful woman, and you said you were wearing a very short dress while trying to keep this thing very clean. How come they didn't do anything to you? Like what?
No, that's what I'm saying. Those ones were professionals. When you mean professionals, they were professionals. They were professionals. They had just one phone, one Nokia phone, in a way that you can't even be traced or location or whatever. Just one of them had just that Nokia phone that they were communicating through. You remember how they discussed when they wanted to give their whomever my BlackBerry pin, my BlackBerry password to unlock it. He told him, you remember that dress you wore for the funeral? You know that black dress you went for that BlackBerry for the burial or something. So he wanted to give him. That was how he passed the message. When he wanted to give him my iPhone password, he was like, when you are coming, buy Apple 2, 3, 2, 3. How many are we? 2, 3, 4, 6. That was how they give out messages. So they were professionals. And because we are professionals, they wouldn't come close. I know when we were in the uncompleted building, their boss had told me, because what he did was to take my jewelry rings, and he came back, he asked me, that big one, is it good? And he told me, should anyone touch me, I should let him know. So when they came back that evening, he asked me, did anyone touch you? I said no. Now, on a Sunday morning, I started seeing my thing. I think the anxiety, the stress made it come out. I didn't even know it was out, because usually I have some abdominal pain. They were the ones that even brought it to my attention. Ooh, your thing is out. So, I'm not gonna lie to you, they liked me.
Yeah, I like it, boo.
They liked me. They would tell me, oh, Samaria, we wish we didn't marry you. We wish we didn't meet you like this. So they would keep me close to them. They'll be cleaning my nails. They'll be telling me stories. I was the only one that gave bottled water there. They were giving others sachet water. I swear to you. It's
good to find, no. It's good to find, no.
There was a day I cried don't shoot. You know what they did?
What?
One of them gave me a gin, because the mosquitoes there, if you wear this type of thing, it will still penetrate and bite you, to still suck you. So you need something thick. That way it won't pierce through. So they gave me a gin. that I used in covering my legs. So one time I was crying, I refused to eat the goat meat and rice the broth or something.
How was the
I
food?
was just
How was the
crying.
food? How was the food?
What they were doing is one time they brought fufu that was soup. I couldn't eat it. They were giving us gala. You know that sausage gala thing? I couldn't. They brought bread. I couldn't. I was almost gonna starve to death. So they brought that bread and then they brought that rice. That was what I ate. The rice was good with the goat meat in it.
With the goat meat.
Yeah, it was a goat meat. I remember. It was. I think they bought it because the way they were operating, they weren't coming into that place. Excuse me. They usually would come in there maybe around 3 or 4 in the morning. That's when one person would come in, or around 11, 12. Nobody was coming in and out like that. So for that reason, we may just stay. If you don't have anything to eat, you have to stay like that till whenever they bring something. In fact, the same punishment I was going through is the same they were going through. One. The only difference is that they were showering and and then they had their body covered, like they had gloves on because of the mosquitoes and everything else. Unlike us, we were still sleeping on that sausage box, the box on the floor. When it rains, that's it. So we were all going through the same thing. It wasn't also easy for them staying there too. So
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, my darling sister. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me not torture you with continuing the story. We have another lady here. Real quick, please share your story too.
Mine is of my mother-in-law.
Oh,
She was kidnapped. The funny thing is, she was in her house, the car drove in, and she felt it was one of her kids. So she was like, "It can be coming by this time of the night." She had taken her, but she was preparing dinner. The guys actually came down, carried her from the house, because she was sitting in the parlor, carried her into the SUV and drove off.
wow.
From a random person, they've kidnapped your mother-in-law. Tell her son. I was like, what? I called my husband who was in the office. He was like, kidnap? It's not possible. I said, okay. We started calling her number. No way. Calling her number, they were not picking. Finally, they picked. We started negotiating. They will tell us to go and buy credit. Like Samaria said, they know you. They were calling my husband by his name and was threatening him that any day he enters Abada, they will kidnap him too. My own duty was scratching card. I will go to business center, then you cannot buy credit online. I will buy credit 10,000, 20,000. They will tell me the specific amount to buy. I will buy, I will sit down, paper, when card also the paper. I will sit down, I will type and transfer. Anyone that has issue, they will call, they will abuse me, abuse my husband. Finally, we started negotiating and we ended up negotiating. The funny thing is that it was a policeman that came from Lagos. My brother-in-law flew him from Lagos. He was the one that came to Aba to drop the ransom for them. Nigerian police, quotes me, came and dropped the ransom for them in Aba, and they released her around 1 a.m. in Abowere Road, pushed her out by 1 a.m. After 2 weeks.
Yeah, my case, I was given 1,000 for transportation. They gave us 1,000 for transportation. And then they told me, we're heading this way is back to Onitsha. And then they went back into the bush. And that one had to fold my puppy. That one he touched my puppy.
He tapped small current. Wow.
They know your family members.
They had the military cap. They had the military cap on the dashboard of the vehicle that took me. What baffled me, like you're saying, is I'm telling you that there's that spot this thing happened as a checkpoint, and these guys drove on that Olu road for more than at least 16 minutes, and they were shooting on air, unmasked. Like they came and they brought the. You see how they took me like they took one commissioner. They were shooting on air comfortably without mask on, and nothing happened.
Of course. Even MTN was able to trace her location. Her location wasn't far from her house in Aba. Police couldn't do anything. The ransom was 5 million was paid before they released her.
5 boys.
People won't come out to tell you the truth. Nobody, if they pick you, you must pay before they release you.
Hey! Olúwa là ń bẹ̀ o.
It's real, so you just all have to be careful.
We all have to be extremely careful. We all have to be extremely careful.
Most times they pick, this one, they came to her house. She was in her house. And you know when someone knocks on your door, you be like, okay, you open the door and tell the person to come in. And that is it. They picked her from her house. She didn't go anywhere around 7 p.m.
And all this is happening in the East.
Yes.
I had a friend that same period, because I remember when my dad was sharing, my dad was telling him what happened to me. He told my dad that he had some similar incidents. He just got released too. They walked in from the restaurant. He saw them as he was coming out from the restaurant. He saw them by the car. So they camouflaged like police. So they just told him he needed to follow them to the police station at that time of the day. It was almost about 6 p.m. So he requested, why would I go to the police with you guys by this time of the evening? And that was how they picked him. He got into the car, and that was how they took him. So there are formats, different ways they can operate. You operate in different, formats.
Now listen, if you are a kidnapper and you are watching my live, repent. Repent. Repent.
I wonder
if you repent now,
don't you have sisters? Don't you have? I understand this.
If you repent now, you feel get luck. If they catch you like Lyon, they go transfer their vex, give you. Just use time and take repent. Make it just be like, say, in fact, I want to pray for you if you're a kidnapper here today. May the Lord touch your heart and help you out of this. I know there are people who don't want to do this, but the situation in the country, their own issues have pushed them down this path. May they be delivered.
Amen.
In Yahushua's name.
Amen.
Also make it conscious. If that's what you are into now, just use style and come out. Just use style.
I beg.
Just use style.
For goodness sake. Don't you have conscience? I mean, these people you guys are hurting. Imagine if someone hurt your parents, hurt your child, hurt your mother, hurt somebody close to you. How would you feel? I mean, even if you decide to, okay, don't take life. Please, you can't create this life. Don't take it. The pain, the trauma, what you put people through is something that they live forever with. It's not fair. It's not fair.
I know Samaria has not yet recovered, to be honest. I know Samaria has not yet recovered.
I know how long it took me to stop doing like this. I used to do like this when I'm sleeping because
how?
Those mosquito noise in my ear. He had me doing like this, thinking they were still, around me for a long time then. Please.
I don't know what to say.
More people want you to call them in the comment section to tell their own.
Bring more people in. Let me get out too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Samaria. And I don't know if I have the strength to bring Obiekere said kidnappers are not on this life. They are on what God cannot do, does not exist prayers. I agree. That's where you be seeing them. Oh God, God, God. They will ask John now, John Lyon, what do you do for a living? He'll say it is God. God has blessed him. I have to pin that comment. Let me look for it, Ebere.
Because that's where they go to look for their victims.
I'm telling you.
They disguise and they try to know who you are, know how much you're giving church.
Hmm.
They will target you and they
It's
say,
heartbreaking.
okay.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that a country so blessed will go through this much. You know, it's heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. Lady Nantoma says you need to seek help, that you're really hurt. Have you actually gone through counseling before?
And the things I've had worse experience than just kidnapping. There's so much that I've had so much. I've had a lot of traumatizing things, a lot of betrayal.
Which other traumatizing experience have you had?
No, don't worry. So
You
yes,
tell me one-on-one.
I've been undergoing counseling the past 1 year, and I'm still undergoing counseling.
Wow.
I undergo counseling on a weekly basis.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
All right, you talk to me. I'll chat you up.
Okay. Sir.
Wow.
All right. Good night.
Good night, my dear sister. Thank you for sharing your story. You know, you wanted to share this story for a while. I was just also worried because it's a personal story, so I didn't want to just bring you on. But since this is with this, you know, I said, you know what, this is a perfect time to share it.
Daddy Freeze, you know why I wanted to share it?
Why?
Because it's like I've had this bond the past how many years, telling me to drop a message for the family of the man, the deceased. I don't know them, they don't know me, but I don't know if they will hear it on.
Hey.
Yes, I'm calling me, sorry. I don't know if they will know, but at least I've let it out. I wanted to let it out. You know how it's like when you keep waiting every day that Sunday. When you keep expecting that Sunday, your father who was gone, your brother, your sibling, you don't know, where they've been all these years would come back. You kind of, somebody's keeping you in suspense. You don't know where they are, what has become of them. So I just wanted to let it out from my heart. To remember that even if it's just 5 people or 10 people that will hear it, that way I will free. That's what I wanted to do. But now I've said it out. I think I'm gonna have a good sleep tonight because I've really been troubled a lot.
So you actually watch them neutralize him. It's not like they just had to take him out.
Oh, let me turn this. Okay. Dawn is texting me. Can I call you? Don't call me.
Don't call her, please.
Talk about this. Don't ask me anything.
Don't call her, please. Help me leave her.
Describe the man. I mean, where he used to stay. I want you, if you're listening, to know that. I mean, stop hoping that he'll come back. He's not coming back any day. That was what happened. Daddy Freeze, all right, thank you.
Let me allow you to go. All right, Samaria, we'll chat later.
Bye, Samaria.
Bye.
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
Hi, Ebere. Yes, let me just hear from you. What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry. My thoughts on this?
On this.
The insecurity in Nigeria is one of the major reasons why even I thought to leave Nigeria. Like, it's too much. It is... Because I've also had an experience. I'm not going to go into too much detail because mine is not kidnapping, but mine was equally traumatizing. And it happened in Lagos, in Lekki, not too, like in front of Oriental Hotel, where, and this happened at about 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. It wasn't like the latest time of the day. Yeah, and I experienced something that was really bad.
What happened?
So we were driving back, and this was in 2011.
Okay.
We were driving from, what was that beach at the time? No, it's the name of, is it Elegushi?
Yes, probably.
I think it's Elegushi. Yes. So we were driving back, and then what happened was we heard like some gunshots, was like, wait, okay. And on that road, you think when you're getting on Ozumba, you're getting into safety. Because going into a new road, it was dark, you know how it is. So we were driving and turning into Ozumba, and they shot at the car in front of us. But because of that turning, it was very hard for us to think of reversing. So the other option was to speed through. So I just bent down and put my hand on my head like that and bent as low as I could. And the car stopped. I wasn't the one driving, and that was a good thing. And it was my car, but I wasn't the one driving. And the car stopped. So there's me whispering, like, how can you stop? Because I could sense it that the shooter, who I had kind of seen a glimpse of the shooter, I had sensed it that we were very close to the shooter. And I'm talking 4 steps away from the shooter, like not far at all. So I was like, how can you stop? And then I looked up, and the next thing I saw was essentially literally a lifeless person next to me. Like just blood gushing out. Well, the next thing that happened was there was another girl at the back of the car, and she tried to run out. My instincts just told me stay in the car. Like I literally shouted at her to like close the door and stay in the car. So we stayed in the car, and I was just scared, wondering what was going on next, thinking they would come and open the door, kill me or something, thinking about all these kind of things. And then someone just opened the door. I got scared, and it was a beggar. And there was this beggar that was always in VI at the time. She was a lady, and she was always just walking aimlessly around. This was 2011, right? And she said, make we take and go hospital. That's what she said. Make we take and go hospital. No worry, go well. And then I started kind of shouting for people to come and help me. They came, they did a lot of crazy things here and there. I tried to sit on his body to drive. It was a guy. I tried to sit on his body literally to drive, but I couldn't. So they carried him.
And that guy had lost his life.
He had lost. Of course, I didn't know he had lost his life, because when you're in that situation, you don't really think instantly that the person is dead. It's not that easy to believe someone.
So I don't use the dead. Just say the person's been neutralized because of social media.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And so I got on the other side. They had taken me to the back seat. Got on the driver's seat, and I just sped off. Literally on the wrong side of the road, just speeding to the nearest hospital. There was a hospital that was behind Mobile House. There was a hospital there. So that's where I took him to. And they said there that, he was
gone.
They couldn't take him into the hospital. So there I was, like, frantically. But by this time, word had gone out very fast. My father, my mom, everybody had kind of heard, because I had called my brother, who didn't answer. I called it was all within seconds, I think. I don't know, everything happened fast. And by the way, I've never told this story like publicly before, so it's interesting that I'm saying it. So from there we went to Luth, and when we went to Luth, they also said that he was gone. Oh. They couldn't do anything. Bear in mind that this person was a doctor, and at the time he was doing his housemanship, and he was doing it in Luth. So this was one of their staff, and they didn't take him in. And then from there, and then from there, we went to Ibobi Orthopedic. This is how far we drove seeking help for this person. And then there, they tried to calm us down. By this time, he was already gone, and I think I already knew, because I had touched his body. It was cold and everything. And then he took us there, and, all in all, that experience, it's nothing near what Samaria just described, but that was traumatizing enough. And at that point, I think I was tired of Nigeria. And I still stayed in Nigeria for a few more years before I left. But at that point, I was like, no, this country is not helping my life. I can't, it's not helping my life in any way. So I was just thinking about ways that I could leave. So that was my own experience. It all boils down to the level of insecurity in Nigeria. Like, The hardship is bad enough. The insecurity is just another thing. And that's what I said to a friend of mine who was talking about those of us abroad and what we want to do with our children, and how some people say to their children, don't ever go back to Nigeria and things like that. And I said, well, while I would never be the type of person to tell my child not to travel or not to go back to Nigeria. The only concern I would have, I don't mind my child living in a place with no light. I don't mind my child living in a place with no water. I really don't mind my child suffering. What I mind is not being sure that my child will come back home alive.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You know, that is a huge, huge thing. And, it's just something that, honestly, the government should really take seriously. You know?
I'm so sorry for your experience, my sister. I'm so sorry for your experience. I hope you're better now. Did you go through counseling like Samaria is going through weekly counseling?
No. I think I've healed, because time does heal wounds. But I remember at the time, I couldn't sleep alone for a while. I remember I used to go to my cousin's house because nobody was at home with me in Nigeria at the time. My dad was in Abuja. My mom was already here in the US, I think. So I was alone. And my brothers are way older, so they were already married and all that. So I was alone, so I had to be going to my cousin's house to sleep, and then I would have outbursts of just screaming and shouting and crying in the kitchen. Like randomly, I'll just be cooking and I'll just start crying and things. So over time, though, I think I have gotten better. I did also experience a lot of backlash from like the deceased family and friends who believed that I had a hand in his death because it was so mysterious to them. So there were all sorts of things going on, some propaganda, some people saying that I was involved in it. Maybe I had a boyfriend who I planned with somebody, all sorts of things. You know how Nigerians don't accept death very easily. We always have to look for somebody to blame. So that's kind of what happened.
Okay, Biere, my sister. I think I need to end the live now. It's very traumatic even for us listening. Thank God for your life, and I wish you all the strength you need to move on and move strong. I do hope you never have to go through anything like this again in your life.
I hope not. But I think I'm strong, and I'm glad that I believe I have very good, what's the word? My reflex when I'm under pressure. I think faster. It's one weird blessing I have where I know the next move once I'm under pressure. So that has really saved me many times, because if I had come out of that car, they probably would have shot at me. So I just stayed in the car. I knew to like bend down and just stay low as possible and things like that. So I don't know. But it's really not something that people look at. How many people even in the comment section throughout this life have mentioned, oh, I was kidnapped. Oh, my friend was kidnapped. Oh, my mother-in-law, my auntie.
Yeah.
Like, how can it be so common and so undocumented? Like, the police does not even have an account of how many people these things are happening to. It's terrible. And then these people that do these things go freely. They go for it's free of charge. The guy that died in 2011, free of charge. People that told him are gone.
Anyway, my sister, it's okay. It's okay. Let me just end it here. Thank you for your story. I do wish you're well. What part of the world are you staying now?
I'm in Mississippi.
Oh, okay, Yankee. Okay.
Yeah.
At least, even though the crime rates in the US are quite high, at least police will come if you call 911. There's no police to call in Nigeria, sadly.
Exactly.
Sadly.
There's no emergency service, no nothing, no ambulance. I mean, I had to be running from place to place with a body. You can imagine.
That's sad.
So, yeah.
That's sad. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Take care of yourself. And it's sad. You mentioned the prayer, the what God cannot do, it does not exist prayer. with all our prayers, see the kind of human beings that we live in the country with. 5 churches on every street should at least account for
Exactly.
something. Uh-uh.
Exactly.
5 churches on every street. And the amount of people that have been kidnapped, my mother, my uncle, my cousin, my friend, did you read the comments now? And we have 5 churches. It's a failure. Christianity in Nigeria has failed. It's a failed
Mm-hmm.
state. I must tell you the truth. Christianity is not about making money. It's not about praying. It's not about going to church. It's about love. That is it. And if you fail in love, you failed in everything else. If you
Yeah.
never pray from today till the day you end your life, you can still make heaven easily. But without love, you can't serve God, let alone make heaven. But they will not teach you that because they need you to join them in prayer so you can dash them money and
Money.
build
Yeah.
imaginary altars of fire.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's a demand and supply. You can't. To an extent, as much as I blame these pastors, I also blame our people because we love our roof. We love miracles. We don't want. We want everything to happen. Like you always use the word magic.
magic,
Everything for
yes.
Nigerians, we want it to be magical. Like, oh, this just happened. Like we don't believe in working towards anything. We just want it free of charge. If we are not getting it from God, we are going to go and beg one auntie or one uncle. We want everything free.
Free.
Like, so it's all of us. It's both us and the pastors. So it's the demand
And the supply. Yeah.
Yeah.
That curve
Yeah.
must, that demand and supply curve must be adjusted. Thank you, Ebiere. Do have yourself a splendid week, okay?
Thank you. Sure. Have a great day. Bye.
And you too. God bless. God bless. So this is as far as I can go. A few people still send me stars. Attila Gumbiade sent me stars. Joke also sent me stars. Let me just thank all of them. Oyeteju Omolara sent me 200 stars. Joke Asubiaro 200 stars. Olamide, Precious Owaikpo Tyre, Buba Stone, more gold. Thank you all so much. I'm not going to push this. I'm just going to end here. Look forward to hosting you guys same time tomorrow on Clash of the Supporters from midnight. Clash of the Supporters. I'm really tired, Mo, bro. Just listening to these stories, they tire me out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all, and see you tomorrow. Official DJ Bongoli. I'm looking forward to having you on Clash of the Supporters. Bye. Oh, wow. Somebody just sent me some stars now. Thank you so much. Mary McGough. Thank you. Thank you. Sent a whole 1,000 stars. Thank you so much, Mary. Good night, everyone. Tomorrow there'll be proper Clash of the Supporters. So look forward to that. Fab Natural Beauty. Better prepare yourself. Franca Onome, we're supposed to talk about another topic, but this one just took over. And since we have Clash of the Supporters tomorrow, we'll just transfer this to Wednesday. Thank you. Oh, we'll transfer the other topic to Wednesday. Well, we're talking about the cleaner who asked her boss out. Take care and God bless.